Okay, beta. So today I'm going to take a very important question on level curve. This is a very, very important topic from the point of view of your exam. Try to read the question, beta. You need to go ahead and tell me the domain of the following function. The function given to you is f of xy is equal to x by y under root. Just the domain, beta. And you have to also go ahead and try to sketch the domain. Let us try to solve this kind of question. So see first of all that here my function that I see, this is in p by q form, right? The function is in p by q form. So we know from p by q form that q cannot be equal to 0, which means that in this case, I know that y cannot be equal to 0. The denominator cannot be 0. Now, the second thing that I have to see here is that this is coming under root. Right? Whenever something comes under root, whatever is inside has to be positive. For a fraction to be positive, either both numerator and denominator should be positive, or both numerator and denominator should be negative. From that aspect, I know that either x should be greater than 0 and y should be greater than 0. I am fine if x is equal to 0 also. Even if I put x as 0, I am fine. Or x is less than equal to 0, but y should be strictly less than 0 because y cannot be 0, right? So this gives me the domain of the function, that the function is defined when x is non-negative and y is strictly positive, or when x is non-positive and y is strictly negative. These two places the function is defined. Now, if I were to go ahead and draw this function domain, then try to understand that when x is positive and y is positive, it means that I am talking about the first quadrant. And when x is negative and y is negative, it means that I am talking about the third quadrant. Isn't it? If I were to go ahead and plot this, here x is positive, here y is positive, here x is negative, here y is negative. So I am fine as long as it is here, or as long as it is here. Now try to understand that the origin is not included. The origin is not included. Why the origin is not included, beta? Because at origin, y is 0, right? And anyways, x is also 0. So it is a 0 by 0 form. So this cannot be included. Other than this, try to understand that I need y to be strictly positive. So I cannot have y as 0 also. And along the x-axis, y will be 0. But I am fine as long as I have x equal to 0. So along the y-axis, x will be 0. And along the y-axis, x will be 0 here also. So I am fine taking this values, but I cannot have this. I cannot have this. And I cannot have the origin also. So the entire x-axis along which y is 0 is eliminated. Y-axis is fine, right? And the y-axis should also only go ahead, and I can take this y-axis only in this zone. So only in the first and the third quadrant. Y-axis is fine because for the y-axis, x will be 0. So my function value will anyways be 0. So this is how you can go ahead and you can go ahead and sketch the domain of the function, right? So you can just draw an open circle here showing that this is not included. Okay, just take another part to this question, beta. So suppose I ask you, find the domain of the function f of xy is equal to ln x square minus y, and sketch the domain in xy plane. Let us try to look into this question now. So try to see that, first of all, when I talk about this function, the function is ln x square minus y. Now, log is only defined for positive values. So whatever is coming inside the log should be strictly positive. So I require x square minus y to be strictly positive. since log is only defined for positive values. When I just go ahead and solve this, this gives me x square greater than y, right? Now, if I were to go ahead and I were to plot y is equal to x square, what will I go ahead and get, beta? How will I go ahead and plot this? I will go ahead and plot this that when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is 1 square 1. So x0, y0, x1, y1, x2, y4. So I will get something like this, right? I should be getting something like this. This goes ahead and it represents y is equal to x square. Isn't it? This is clear. It represents y is equal to x square. Now, if I just go ahead towards this region, beta, here y is greater than x square. Do you see this? Here, when x square, so here, when x is 1, y is exactly 1 square, that means 1. Here, y is 2. 2 is greater than 1 square, isn't it? So here, y is greater than x square. Similarly, if I talk about the region below, that means this. Here, y is less than x square, exactly what I require, right? So I have got that y should be less than x square. This is the first thing that I have achieved. As long as y would be less than x square minus y will come out to be positive, right? So for example, if I just go ahead and I tell you for y less than x square, say let's say that x is minus 5, right? And x square will become 25. And y is less than 25, right? Y is any number less than 25. Minus, say y is 22. So I will get ln x square is 25 minus 22, and I will get a positive number here, and this function would be defined. This is clear to you? Okay. Now there is another thing that we need to go ahead and keep in mind. What is that thing, beta? Can you go ahead and can you tell me what will be the value of ln1? ln1 is 0. What is the value of ln1? ln1 is 0. And what is the value of ln0? What is the value of ln0? It is not defined. So we need to make sure that we only take strictly positive values. We need to make sure that we only take strictly positive values and not put an equal to here, right? Because if we put an equal to, then ln0 will not be defined, and that will make the answer incorrect. And we need to make sure that ln1 comes out to be 0. ln1 comes out to be 0. So when we have x square minus y is equal to 1, right? When I get this as 1, the value of the function, it should come out as 0. This is another thing that must be satisfied. But try to understand here that I am not concerned with drawing the function. I am only concerned with drawing the domain of the function, and the function is defined for all positive values. So I've just gone ahead and drawn that domain. Is that making sense? I am not drawing the function here. These are additional things I'm telling you. I am just drawing the domain of the function. I'm sketching the domain of the function. Okay? Right? Am I clear with this? So just one last thing, beta. So since I have my function as ln x square minus y, I cannot have this as 0. So I cannot include this point, origin. So I need to make sure that this is the region that is included below the curve. And that will be my domain. Right? Okay, beta. Thank you so much.